fellow watch lovers, nerds, enthusiasts, or however you identify. This is the 40 and 20 podcast with your hosts, Andrew and my good friend Everett. Here, we talk about watches, food, drinks, life, and other things we like. Everett, how are you?
I'm doing really good.
Yeah, you have an unusually deep voice today, and also an unusually sloppy microphone.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
I'm doing okay. No, you know what? I'm doing a little bit better. Okay. I had a professionally very good week.
America. Well done.
Yeah, I made a bucket load of money.
Better still.
I won a case. I won a trial that I've been working on for, well, I mean, you know how these things go. I've been working on it for a year, but I've been working on the trial basically every working moment for the last week. And so to have all that culminate in a big fucking
victory,
arms widespread in a V, that was pretty fun.
Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, it wasn't like a layup either. It was like a 2011 Dwight Howard throwdown.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a slam dunk, as it were.
Oh.
But not just I dunked it. Like I just ended your life.
Shatter the backboard, teabag in the air kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, it was awesome.
Excellent.
It was awesome. And you know, the hubris on the other side, you know, this it's one of those things where the emotions are all sort of irrational, right?
Yeah.
The emotions are irrational. So not only the emotions involved in winning, but in the opposition, and you know, it ceases at some point to become, or it ceases at some point to be directly linked to the best interests of the client. And it's like, I'm actually now just going to win.
Well, yeah, it's a purely ego thing.
There's some ego, yes.
I can't imagine a single attorney not having also an extremely competitive streak within them.
I just turned your volume up because you were too quiet, and I'm sorry I didn't do that earlier. And I'm sorry to you at home sitting in your car struggling to hear Andrew.
I'm not so sorry because I feel like that I'm maybe kind of like just the token person. Like you just need somebody to talk to and bounce things off of.
Do you feel that way?
No. But I'm apologetic that people have to listen to the sound of my voice.
You know who I feel bad for?
Who?
I feel bad for Wes and Cullen because they come on the show and they just tell us good stuff, and then we just have them down like this, like
we're the stars of this show.
Our new watch is going to be really good. It's going to come out and sorry guys. Yeah, you know what? That's funny because when they came on, they said before the show, like, why don't we record separately? We'll send you this, and I thought, I don't want to record in multi-track. It's a pain in the ass to edit it, and the file is way bigger. This always works.
Turns out it didn't.
The one time a guest offered to record their own audio, I turned them down. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. You know what? I made a mistake. Can I just admit that right now, here on air?
And you know what? You're a big man to admit it. And we learned from it. It was a learning opportunity. And we're going to capitalize on that opportunity. And we'll make the same mistake again in the future.
That's right. That's right. How are you? How was your week?
It was good. It was kind of long because I'm doing annual training in conjunction with my work schedule. So I'm working 7 days a week right now and have been for the last 3. So yeah. I'm like, I'm kind of in that tired stage where I'm just fucking wired. I am simultaneously exhausted and endless energy. It's not a great feeling, but whatever. Only a couple more weeks of it, and then we're gonna move on with my life, and my AT will be done. I'm gonna go back to the glory of a 4-10 work week.
Yeah,
because that is the most fantastic schedule on the planet.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, a 2-10 schedule would be far better, but there's just not a lot of money in a 2-10 schedule.
Or like a 1-5.
Yeah. There's just not a whole lot of money to be made there. So I can't.
I mean, I could do okay.
Yeah,
I could survive on that.
Yeah, you'd be okay. That's whatever. Yeah, my job's more fun. So.
You know, I had an experience this week where I was going into work, 7-ish, and then working until 9:30, 10-ish.
3.5 hours, whole 3.5 hours.
Yeah, no, night. So going in the morning, coming home late at night.
Oh, okay.
As I was leading up to the trial, but I'd come home and I'd be so like just amped up, and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep.
I don't get that way. I've gotten really good at leaving work at work.
Yeah, that's good. It's not so much that I've taken. Well, no, in that case, I had taken home. So yeah, I feel you. I had a rough sleep week, but now everything is golden. I mean, I'm still very, very behind, but
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, who cares? Bobby McFerrin, man.
If you're ever caught up, you're doing it wrong,
right?
Especially in your line of work. If you're caught up, you're fucked. You're unemployed.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, enough about you and me.
Yes. Way more than enough.
Can we talk about Rolexes?
I think we should talk about a specific Rolex.
Is it a Daytona?
Yeah.
Is it a Cosmograph?
It is.
All right, you guys saw it, right?
Yeah.
You saw it.
And everyone's seen this dude in his camo headband collapse to the earth.
That guy reminded me of the pot grower from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yep.
That's who he reminded me of.
Yep.
Like, that's the guy that grows pot in San Andreas.
What's crazy about this is the second time in the last year that one of these watches has just been like happened upon.
Is it? What was the other one?
Like 8 months ago or so, that woman found one in her couch.
Oh, yeah. I just find like goldfish in my couch.
Yeah, and French fries and Band-Aids and Legos. Like that's what exists in my couch. So
I'm 95% sure, 96% sure I've never found a Rolex on my couch.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is that made me want to start going and buying couches from Goodwill and just tearing them apart.
What's the deal with Andrew and the couches? It's a long story.
It's not a big deal. Someday he's gonna. It's like my version of the lottery. I'm not going to buy Powerball tickets. I'm going to buy $25 couches from Goodwill, and I'm going to shred them, and then I'm just going to make a mountain of my backyard, and eventually I'm going to find a Daytona.
It's pretty cool. We had, I think it was, Tuesday morning, I had like 3 people send it to me, or send it to us, which turns out to be...
Because I was at work. I don't really use my phone when I'm at work.
I had like 3 people send it to us, and is watching it. It's cool, right? It's cool. It's like this fucking guy, and he buys this $345 Rolex in the 70s, which was like a month of salary, and then it's a cool story. It's sort of relatable, and right? You hit the lottery, man. You hit the lottery, and that's neat. That's exciting.
Oh, it's super cool. I'm happy for him. What's interesting though, and like what it prompted in me is, what watch could we buy today for a month's salary that would be a retirement in 30 years? And there's no way to know.
Yeah,
like that guy went in to buy probably to just buy a Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one he happened to pick out, and now he has $750,000. Well, I mean, it's going to come out to probably $500,000.
Yeah, after capital gains or whatever,
yeah. And probably paying an auction house and all other kinds of things. But yeah, that's what watch is that? Tell me what watch that is today. I'll go buy 10.
Dan Henry, 1972.
Okay. Dan, I'm clearing out your inventory.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the deal, right? We don't really know. We don't really know, and he didn't know. If there had been any sort of reliable prospectus on those things, then you wouldn't have been able to find one. And I think that's part of what makes a Rolex so hard to buy today is that people have seen this astronomical growth. The math on that works out to about $2,200, I think, $2,200 US today, just with inflation. I mean, you can't get. You can't get a Rolex for $2,200. There's no working condition Rolexes on the market. For maybe there's some of the weird dress models or something that I don't know about. But I mean, by and large, entry level for a used Rolex is $4,000, right? And then they go up. This was top of the line, bee's knees flagship Rolex, and it was the equivalent of $2,200.
And that's impossible now.
Yeah.
You can't get into really any true luxury watch for $2,200 right now.
That's right. I mean, you're looking at, perhaps Oris or Longines, one of these sort of middling Swiss companies, perhaps, or some of the higher end or, middle level Seiko stuff. But, even in the 70s, Rolex was king shit. And
at $2,200.
At $2,200, the equivalent of $2,200.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, a total crapshoot, right? You never know.
So I think the lesson to be learned here is buy one of each and just lock them all in a safe. Because the sad part about that is this guy never really enjoyed his watch.
Yeah, we posted on the Instagram. You guys may have seen this, but Everett, posted that I think it's really. I feel a little sad for him. I don't feel sad for him because he
just made a shit. He just really won a lottery.
He got lucky, but I mean, if you think about it in terms of, here's this guy. He saves up a month wages. He was probably deployed or something. He just had it sitting in the bank, but he has this money and he buys the watch he really wants, and then he never fucking wears it. He sticks it in his safety deposit box because he's scared to wear it. That sucks. I think that sucks.
Yeah, that's no way to live.
Yeah, and 700,000 is a bucket load of money, but that's a conservative 401k. Maybe not a 345, but for me the takeaway is some people are going to get really lucky. My concern to the extent I'm concerned, I'm not fucking concerned about you guys. You do what you want. But I think to the extent I have a concern is that, that's someone's going to be encouraged to, buy some watch they really want to have and then never enjoy it, because he doesn't care about that watch. You could tell he didn't care about it. It's just been
he took the Antique Roadshow
in a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not special to him. It's not special to his fucking kid.
His kid's never seen it. His kid never will see it now. I mean,
Sonny,
get away from this motherfucker.
You were going to get this, but daddy needs a yacht. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as that goes, it's not, I mean, it's whatever. He sounded like he had other watches and I'm sure he enjoyed them and that's fine. But for me, I feel like if I'm going to buy the watch I really want and, spend way too much money on a watch, I'm going to wear it, right?
His daily driver is probably an easy reader.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. I'm wearing my Speedmaster today. I don't wear it every day because we have a fuck ton of watches between the two of us, and then people keep sending us watches to review.
Oh, it's awful.
And they're all amazing. So I don't wear my Speedmaster, but I'm going to wear that thing. I'm not going to take care of it. I'm not going to baby it. I'll take care of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not gonna baby it, right? I'm gonna wear it. I got this settlement, and then I went and bought the watch that I really wanted. And yeah, it's fucking valuable, but I'm gonna wear it.
So is your car. You drive your car all kinds of places.
Yeah. I mean, that thing cost almost exactly the same amount of money as my car.
Yeah,
like within a couple of dollars difference.
How about that? And you drive the shit out of your car.
I do.
And you've tried to do some crazy things with your car. You convinced me into it, and I was down to do it. We were going to cut your exhaust system and install some long chrome-tipped exhaust on there.
I still think I'm going to do that.
And that's the kind of behavior I'd expect from you. Because it's awesome. Because you love your car, and you're going to enjoy your car, and you're going to do things that you like.
Yeah. Yeah, I might not put straight pipes on it, but I do want to put an exhaust on it. I might pick up some flows or something.
That'd be cool.
It's got that big V8, man. It's got that 1UZ, but Lexus, bless their hearts, really dedicated to a quiet experience. And I'm like, you know what, Mr. Lexus? I maybe want a little bit noisier existence.
Yeah. And you look so weird. It would be a whole thing.
Put cherry bombs on the bottom of my LS400.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's our take on the Daytona. I think it's a cool story, right? I would worry that someone thought.
I hope it happens to me one day.
Yeah, right. I'm not angry. I don't think that is something that is relevant to a watch collector. To me, he seems like someone who doesn't care about watches, someone who bought a thing, but at the end of the day, he didn't really care about watches.
Yeah.
Bless his heart for taking care of it, but he doesn't really care about watches. That's how I feel about it.
I wonder what the service is going to cost on that after 30 years of never really being in the daylight.
Well, you know, I think that there is, I think that there's probably a good side and a bad side to it. You know, certainly the oils will have dried up, but if it's truly been sitting in a safety deposit box the whole or most of the time, then it won't have operated unlubricated. Right. I did notice that the foil on the back looked like it had more wear than no wear. Mm-hmm. Right? That watch has been worn some, certainly, and who knows how much. But the other thing I noticed was that on the show, it was running. It had been wound and was running.
Roadshow probably tested it. That was probably one of the things that he did, which might have been detrimental.
Well, that was my thought, that maybe it had already been serviced.
Well, perhaps, yeah.
Maybe they had someone service it. And I don't know.
To air it. They went in, they're like, hey, dude, you're going to be a star on Antique Roadshow. We're going to get this bitch in for service so it can be running on the show and we can tell you how much it's worth.
Yeah, right. So then they can make sure it works and they can give them a good quote. Who knows? Or maybe someone doesn't. Let us know if you know.
If you're an Antique Roadshow insider. I was unaware that Antique Roadshow was still a thing.
Yeah. I follow Antique Roadshow on YouTube, so I still get Antique Roadshow clips and episodes.
I mean, it's still, the video looks like it was shot in the 90s. They must still be using the same equipment they've been using for the last 30 years.
Perhaps it's public. It's public broadcasting, man. Take it easy.
Whatever.
So I got one more piece of watch news. I don't know if this is watch news per se. In fact, it's certainly not watch news. But Evil Custom, EVEL_custom. He was one of the brains behind the Traveling Watch Project. So we have not had Mr. Custom on the show before, but we have talked about him when we had JD Campbell on. But Evil Custom sent us a link tonight. This is gosh, you guys, I'm just going to have to link it because the website here doesn't say what the website is. The URL is hella confusing, but I will say it's an article about the Accutron indexing mechanism. So it talks about, it talks about sort of the difficulty, the complication of the gear, the Accutron gear system, how that system works. It's got some great diagrams and some figures. Again, I apologize that I can't tell you anything about this website, but really it's
probably like a residual blog from
members
from 2003.
iinet.net.au. So it's some Australian website.
Sounds like a porn website.
Photoplot accidents.
Yeah.
So it's not a website I'm familiar with, but it's got this article on there.
So we'll definitely email it to you. Definitely click the link. And definitely put in your credit card information. You can trust us.
That's right. So we'll link this in the show notes, assuming I do show notes. People are getting mad about the show notes.
Whatever, y'all. Just listen to the show again.
People, I'm sorry, you guys.
Just pull a notepad out.
Yeah, we'll be better about it. I keep promising people to be better. I think we're on 2 weeks in a row of good show notes, so or at least show notes.
Yeah, I told you I was going to take it on, and then I started working every day, and it just turned out I'm tired.
Well, we've been going for 20 minutes, and we haven't started talking about watches. I mean, I guess we did. I guess the Daytona thing, that's news. That's watch news. That counts as
and the Pornbot website
show.
Not the Pornbot website. It just the URL that you described sounds like a Pornbot website.
Right. And I won't promise before you click on it that it's not. So good luck.
But definitely put your credit card information in.
Okay. So we're talking about fun. I mean, I think this is a fun topic.
I kind of like this little series that we're doing of the poor man's edition.
Yeah, the poor man's. The poor man's watch. The poor man's watch. We're going to do, what is this? Is this
part 3?
Part 3 of the poor man's? Mm-hmm. The poor man's watch. So, drum roll, because you don't know. But we're going to do the poor man's Big Pilot.
Yeah.
The
With
poor-
a big caveat.
Yeah.
It's not big.
None of these watches are 55 millimeters.
No. And reason being, at least for my choices, is not only is it a poor man's Big Pilot, because I love the way the Big Pilot looks. I put one on once and I laughed.
Was it a 55?
Yeah, I put
like a full size.
Yeah,
Big Pilot?
and I forget. I was in some airport, saw an IWC little shop, and put on the Big Pilot. Where the fuck was I?
Was that? That's like a $15,000 watch, right?
Yeah, it was somewhere in Texas, and I remember I was in Texas because I just had a barbecue sandwich, and I for sure got barbecue sauce on the watch. I didn't even think about it until after the fact, and I was like, oh, they're gonna be mad, but it felt good. When I put it on, and it was comical. It was absurd.
Right.
This is that like the Big Pilot is far more appropriate over a spacesuit than a Speedmaster, because it would like dimensionally be appropriate. Anyway,
They wore them on the thigh, right?
the Big Pilot,
Yeah.
it
yeah.
can.
You know, the Mike and Kaz were talking about this week. In fact, they were talking about Axis Power watches, but we had already sort of planned this episode and had been researching for it when I listened to their episode. But yeah, I think they were saying that it was designed to be worn on the thigh.
It could be worn on your fucking ankle, and you could still read it.
I just leave it in my bedroom. I can see it all day. It's like the sun.
Yeah, there's still some lume coming off of it. It's a whole thing. So we went with a little bit more conservatively sized watches.
Yeah.
Primarily because that's what we can wear.
Yeah, that's what we want to wear. We want to wear these
That's what
sizes.
we want to wear, but we still want that aesthetic. We still want that look. We want that really classic, either Type A or Type B pilot's watch. So that's what we went with today. Yeah, our biggest watch, I think, rings in at 44.
Yeah, 44, 45,
44,
something
yeah,
like
44,
that.
45, which is large for the type of watches that we like to wear, and large even towards the way that watch style is trending.
And then several of these are smaller too. Several of these are 40, which even just a few years ago would be considered sort of a conservatively or mid-size watch. So in the scheme of pilots' watches, that's teeny tiny.
Yeah, an itty bitty, teeny tiny Type A pilot's watchy.
Yeah.
So let's get into them. So we've both picked a couple, and we're gonna start with the with one that I picked, and I don't know much about this brand.
No, I've never heard of it.
So it's Aromatic 1912.
Yeah, and aromatic is spelled like
AERO.
like lavender, like it's an aromatic.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's not how you spell that word. It's spelled aromatic, AERO, like Aeropostale.
Oh yeah.
This is an automatic aviator's watch. It's the A1336. And from what I could find about this watch is that it is a likely all produced in China, assembled in Germany, can wear the made in Germany seal because they have a little bit different criteria for the made in Germany. And so that's what I could find about it. This is not a brand I've ever heard of, but when I discovered it, it was a result of a Google search for big ass onion crown watches.
That's awesome.
And that's what I was browsing through, because I love, my absolute favorite part of the Big Pilot is that big ass crown, and that is a crown that would be wholly inappropriate on a watch any smaller than 55 millimeters.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what I was looking for, was for a big pronounced crown. And the whole point of that is that you can manipulate the crown in gloved hands.
Gloves, yeah.
And
sure.
and when you've got some dexterity issues, whether it be from gloves or cold or any other kinds of things. So this is not the same triangular crown, but just a bulbous, big ass round crown. A really classically styled dial.
It's a little busy. I mean, the dial's a little busy.
But it's got the components that you want.
Yeah.
Right. It's got all the things that you want. These ring in at 42 millimeters, I think.
40. Yep. It's
40?
a 40.5.
Yeah. Okay. So a 40 millimeter.
13 thick.
Yeah.
20 millimeter lugs. So 40 and 20, 50 meters of water resistance.
Which is a bit of a bummer. What I couldn't find reliably was the type of movement that's in here.
Yeah.
I found some reviews stating that they were Rondas, some stating that they were Yodas.
It's an automatic movement, so it's probably not a Ronda. It's probably not a Ronda. I suspect it's a 8000 series Miota.
Very likely.
That's what it looks like to me.
Couldn't find anything reliably saying any direction or the other, but you're going to get an automatic movement. What I could find about these was that some units come out great. They work just fine. And then others, you get lemons, which is kind of what isn't surprising. These are ringing in at $175 plus some shipping. I couldn't find any prime options for these, which is a bummer. I like it. The lugs are a little bit short. It's not exactly a big Pilot.
Yeah.
It's not perfect for it, but it does have a perfect crown.
Yeah. I like that crown. I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's interesting.
I love it.
There's a couple things going on here that I think are a little interesting. It's got a bit of the dial's not pure white. It's got the primary, or the secondary hour markers. So it's got big, white, bold numerals 1 through 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got much, much smaller sort of antiqued font laying out 13 through 24.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, around the outer track, it's got at 5-minute intervals, 5, 10, 15, 20, etc. But then inside the big white numerals, it's also got another set of 5, 10, 15, 20. But they're in reverse. They're inverted. They're mirror images. And I don't know. Maybe a pilot would know immediately what this for. I'm wondering if that's so you can read it in its reflection, like in a window or something. I don't know. Why would those be in reverse?
Funsies.
Yeah. Well, it is fun. I don't disagree with that. I like this watch. Is the logo a jellyfish, Andrew?
It kind of looks like it. I couldn't get close enough on any of the pictures I could find to say definitively. Because as I zoomed in, it just kind of pixelated, but
yeah,
kind of looks like it could be a jellyfish.
An aromatic jellyfish.
Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that when you cook jellyfish, it's quite aromatic.
Well, I like it. $175. It's an automatic. I think this is a great sort of entry.
It's a little bit risky though. I think if you've got $175 that you're willing to take a risk on, go ahead and spend it.
Yeah.
And have it shipped direct to us, and then we'll send it on to you when we're done. But I'm intrigued by this watch. I'm not really in a position right now to drop $175 on a risk, but shortly I might be.
Yeah. I like it. So, item number two, watch number 2. So this again, the poor man's. This is how this goes, right? We pick a watch that everybody wants, right? And everybody wants an IWC Big Pilot.
Yeah.
Everybody wants one, unless you have one, you want one. I think, right?
Well, yeah, and if you're not going to wear it, you still want it.
We did a poor man's Speedy. We did the poor man's Date Just. These are watches that it's like, yeah, I want to have one of those.
Yeah.
Everybody wants an IWC Big Pilot, but I'm not buying an IWC Big Pilot.
No, and even if I had the money to, I still wouldn't, because I don't want to wear a manhole cover on my wrist.
Right. Well, an IWC makes obviously more conservatively sized watches, but still very expensive.
But I want the Big Pilot.
So
the whole thing.
These are what you might pick up if you have the hankering. You have the hankering, but you can't afford it. So I really like this watch. We've got 7 watches we're going to talk about today. Of the 7, this is tied with one other watch for the watch that I would definitely get if I was in this position. This is the Laco. Mm-hmm. The Laco, I think this is the Aachen. This is the Type B variant of Laco's entry-level automatic pilot's watch. Laco is a company that has bona fides.
I think it's also said Loco.
Loco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're with a K.
Like Vatos Loco.
Yeah. No, like For Loco.
Forever.
Yeah, For Loco forever.
Blood in, blood out.
Oh, okay. Continue.
So the Laco Augsburg and the Aachen, these are Laco's entry-level watches. You know, Laco is a cool company. I think they're a cool company. They don't follow the traditional sort of price segment model. I can't think of another company besides perhaps Seiko that dips its toes into affordable watches the way Laco does. Another luxury company, right? And Seiko has grown from a middle class company to now becoming a luxury company. So it seems that their entry level roots are being erased. Laco is a company that has been semi luxury for many years, decades perhaps. But they still have these watches that are really very accessible. There's some problems with these watches, right? There's some problems with these watches, and some reasons that this watch may not be my favorite on the list. They're made in Germany, which means very little. They have 8,000 series Miyota movements, the 821A automatic movement, which is not a great movement.
They could do a lot better, especially at a $400 price point.
Yeah, so not a great movement. And I think, without ever having spent any serious time with these, that the finishing on the case on this is probably not, to use a watch term, superlative. Now, it's got a beautiful display case back. It's got an engraved, stylized, signed rotor. It's attractive. The whole thing's attractive. But I think that you're going to notice the corners being cut here.
I think part of that's just going to be German engineering and design features. Is you're going to get a little bit more of an industrial manufactured feel as opposed to the Japanese engineering and styling where you're going to get super refined, really repeated. I think that's just a function of German engineering, is you're going to get a little bit more industrial feel to it.
So we've pulled these up on Amazon, $398. This is a 42 millimeter watch, 20 millimeter lugs, 13 thick. So they look like chunks. When you see the profile of this, it looks a little chunky, but it's not 13 millimeters. It's just very slab sided. All of these Pilots watches are slab sided. It's a column.
I hate the strap, just for the record.
Oh yeah, it's got this riveted leather strap.
Hate that. Hate it a lot.
Well, okay.
I know you can change it, but I still hate it a lot. I would like to buy a watch that I could wear the OEM strap or bracelet on.
I think that this is a pretty typical Flieger style strap. So
it is, but I still don't like it.
That's fair. Damn. So I really like this watch, and I think that if you're looking, if you want to have a luxury Swiss watch that wasn't stupid, or a Swiss watch made by a luxury brand that wasn't not Swiss. Excuse me. A luxury watch made by a European luxury brand at a truly entry-level point. I think that this is the most accessible luxury affordable watch that is out there. They're readily available. They're not hard to find. They've got this super historical name on the dial. It's a watch that's got its own stylistic history. The
ones I wish were just a touch more accessible were the Stovas.
Yeah, those are a little bit pricier.
They're all, for the most part, coming in around $1,000.
All right, number 3. This is an Andrew watch.
This is a watch that we've talked about time and time again, and it's the Citizen Avion. There's a chronograph version. These are both going to run in at about $175, $180. and they are, I think, if you're looking to dabble in pilot's watches, they're on the bigger side. They're 44, 45 millimeters. Eco drive. The finishing on them is killer. There's nothing more to say that we haven't already said about these watches. Absolutely consider them. The OEM strap on them is perfectly acceptable. I wore mine for a very long time on the OEM. It's a little bit thick, but it holds up. It stands up to some pretty good wear. They're attractive. What else do we have to say about it that we haven't already said?
This is the one chronograph on our list.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, yours is not a chronograph.
No, I don't have the chronograph. It's
That one.
Yeah, I'm trying to click on it, but it won't come up. So I've just clicked on the wrong one. Let me give a good reference number for this. But this is a bigger watch.
Mm-hmm.
It is an eco drive, so it's a quartz watch, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Love the eco drive movement, though.
I typed in Citizen chronograph.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Maybe you've ruined everything.
Citizen Avion.
Yeah, definitely. Type Citizen one more time. That'll help.
Yes, you're making the sausage. There she is. There she is. First class watches, Creation watches. I trust Creation watches. $96.
Oh, look at that. On Creation watches, 96 money.
$96.
On the Amazon, I think it was 180 when I looked today.
So, this is not necessarily a true sort of throwback classic watch. I'm going to give you a model number, AW1360-12H, which I think is 12 hour, probably. 1360, AW1360-12H. Yeah, I think these are cool, man. They're sort of modern, but without being...
Yeah. They're a good modern interpretation of a classic pilot's watch.
Yeah, and the hands, I think that's my favorite. I have two things about this watch that I just love. Every time I say it, every time you wear this, I love the handset.
Mm-hmm.
I love the crown.
Love the crown.
I love
the finishing
crown.
on it's killer too.
Yeah,
everything. This was a really, really well thought out, well designed watch.
How much did you pay for yours?
$180 probably.
$96 on Creation watches.
Well, shit, a year ago it was $80 on Amazon. I'm furious.
You should have put it in a safety deposit box.
Yeah, lost money.
Yeah. So it's a Type B, so it's got the inner 24-hour ring. Yeah, these are neat, man. These are really cool. The lugs are interesting. Did you talk about the lugs already? And did I just miss it?
No, I didn't talk about them already, but we've talked about this watch a shitload. Let's move on to the next one.
I like how the lugs sort of come in from the outside and grab.
Yeah.
Grab the strap.
Claw it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that one didn't come up, so we're not going to talk about it.
Which one?
This is the actually,
oh yeah,
we'll wait on that one. So next we're going to talk. So this is a brand I heard of just this last week. I'd never heard of them.
While working on this?
No, just before that actually. When you said let's do that, I was like, oh cool. I can talk about Dekla.
Woohoo!
So this is a German company, Dekla. Two Broke Watch Snob episode this week is pretty cool, and I'm going to mention it just because it's so on point. But they talked about the Axis Power watches and their discussion.
Axis or Access?
That's so funny that you say that because every time Kaz said it, I was like, why is he saying Access?
Oh, now you're saying Access,
right?
You got in your head, man.
Yeah. Axis.
There it is.
Axis.
Yeah.
Axis watches, and meaning Japan, Germany, Italy.
The axis of evil.
Yes, that's right. And their conversation about it is good. It's measured. It's really reasonable and I think fair. And it was super interesting, fun to listen to. So this is a watch that I hadn't heard of, and I don't believe they talked about these, but I saw this on the Instagram. This is a German watch. I don't know the history behind this company, Dekla, but they don't seem to be a brand new company, and they're doing a lot of stuff in-house. So it's an ETA movement. You can get this with your choice of a 2824-2 or a 2801, the 2801 being a mechanical, a hand-wound mechanical. Both automatic, hacking, or excuse me, both hacking, 28, 24 being automatic. 40 millimeters, 10.15 high.
Ooh.
So a very, very thin watch.
A 22 millimeter lug width, though. That's odd.
With a kind of a wide lug width. Yeah.
Can you go back to the profile view of it?
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
What is that engraved onto the side? Is that the serial number?
It's a serial number. I think that you can choose to have an engraving on the side.
Okay, because I was going to say that number one, that's the most slab-sided case I've ever seen.
Right. Very slab-sided.
It is. Yeah. There's absolutely no contour to it.
Well, and that's how these all are. That's
it looks far slabbier than any of the other watches we've talked about, and the lugs are so short.
You know, I actually don't think that it's any slabbier than the Laco at Aachen or Augsburg.
Maybe it's just the way that photo's taken, the angle of it. It looks like it's just a flat edge, and actually that could probably be a result of the 22 millimeter lug width. You're not going to get that same contour on the side, that kind of that sweep.
That's right.
Losing a millimeter on each side.
Yeah.
It's absolutely from the lug width.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think these are really neat. You know, I think these are spec'd really well, which is what caught my eye. So €495. So it's not a cheap watch.
Is that like $5.25?
Probably something like that. And we could look it up, but we're not gonna. But in terms of, you're getting it at a movement, you're getting Tritech Superluminova, heat blued steel hands, in-house made hands, an in-house dial.
Sapphire crystal. I mean,
that's right. Sapphire. I think that it's got 100 meters of water resistance too. Yeah. 10 atmospheres of water resistance. So,
I wonder why one of the
German made case, they say in-house made. I don't know if that means made in Germany or made by them somewhere else.
Made by Germans in China. I wonder why the engraving tool is a feature they decided to point on as opposed to laser engraving.
Yeah, that's interesting. I noticed that too. They want you to know we're not lasering this. We're actually going to use a tool to engrave this. Maybe that's got something to do with the quality of the engraving,
the handmade workmanship.
Perhaps, yeah. I think this is a really neat. I think this is a really neat possibility. Haven't seen them, don't know anything about them, but I think if you're looking, it's worth probably a look into.
A really interesting lug shape.
Yeah, there's kind of the lugs.
Kind of looks like a claw tooth tub. If you were to take the dial out, you could take a bath in it.
So cool.
Yeah, and to be only 10 millimeters thick, that's it looks a lot thicker in the photographs of it. So next up, we've got a brand that we've talked about previously, and is definitely one of the economy brands. It's Jack Mason, and we've got the Aviator Automatic 42 millimeter, and this is coming in at $259. So we've got another 42 millimeter, kind of a hybrid dial, but that really good triangle crown that we're looking for in this.
Yeah, fantastic sort of diamond.
Yeah,
diamond crown.
Yeah, and so we've got 100 meters of water resistance. I don't have so it's a 42 millimeter
22
case,
millimeter
22 millimeter lugs. I don't. What's the movement?
821 alpha.
Yeah, the 821s. So all known quantities from an economy brand. Definitely in the affordable area. If you're looking at getting a watch from a brand everyone knows this brand. You're not going to get duds out of it. You're not going to get anything extraordinary out of it. At $260, you're going to get an attractive watch, and because it's kind of a hybrid dial, this kind of comes closer to me for the SNK. And so we should also mention that in our rules, we said that we couldn't use the SNK because it's just not a fit. Because we tried to make a few rules for ourselves.
And we sort of, I think without saying it, we stipulated no Nighthawk either.
Yeah. Because it's also not a good replacement.
I'll say this is what I'll say about this watch, because I probably wouldn't buy this watch, but this watch has a little bit more style than the rest of the watches on this list, which is maybe a bit of sin, right?
I think it's a takeaway from its value as a replacement or a stand-in for a big Pilot.
It's got some polish on it in places where there's not supposed to be polish. The bevel on the bezel is polished. It's got some polish on the crown, which is fine. But it's maybe not in form, true Pilot watch form, but I like it. I think that this watch is pretty attractive.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite offerings that they have, and they've got that really, really cool designed case back.
Yeah, display back.
Yeah, this is. I need to pick up one of their watches soon.
Yeah, we haven't had. We've talked about a number of them. We've never had one in to be able to really say, we like it or not. So, the case back has 4 screws. It's not a screw down case back.
It's a screw in.
A screw in case back, which is, as long as it works, right? It's fine. But yeah, I think most folks that are into watches prefer a screw down case back. That it's a decision and it's made, and that's it.
I like too that I'm seeing more and more quick release straps in watches.
Yeah,
and OEM straps.
Yeah, it seems to be the thing the last couple of years.
Which says to me though that they're not really that confident in the quality of their strap, that they're just like, we know they're just going to dump it. Let's make it easy.
Right.
But you never know. I mean, maybe this one's it's got a 2-stitch brown leather strap on it.
Yeah, but look at that leather. That's a composite leather.
Yeah. It's leather paste.
Leather paste, yeah. So, I mean, the you don't buy those watch for the strap.
No.
You don't buy this for the strap. So
I think you put this on an EA8 brown leather. Ooh.
Yeah, or something nice. You know what this would look good on is something with like brown or black leather and two rivets right at the top.
Oh God! I think it'd be money on like a black Bark and Jack too.
I like the handset on this too. This has a Zen style handset that I really like. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up.
Oh yeah. Next up, we've got the Glycine Combat Men's Watch, and this is kind of again tends toward the SNK, and I think I cheated a little bit when I picked this watch because this isn't really a good stand-in for the big Pilot, but this is a watch brand that we all know, a watch brand that we all like, and for $380 money from the Ashford website, you can pick up this Glycine Combat Men's Watch, and it again, like an SNK, it's got crown guards, doesn't have a big crown, but it's a piloty fieldy pilot watch. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just really like this watch.
I think that this is more of a field watch. This is more of a WWW watch.
Yep.
And that's okay, right? Because it does the same thing. You've got the inner 24-hour time. It's going to do the same things. I don't think it's quite legible enough to really be a pilot watch.
No, I think you're right on it, and I knew this was kind of a stretch, but we got to have one that if the big pilot's watch isn't for you, this still kind of fits the need. Yeah. It's a 41 millimeter case, 100 meters of water resistance. It's 13 millimeters thick. What's that? A 20? Yeah, it's a 20 millimeter lug to lug. Or lug width on it. Just a good all around watch.
Yeah. This is a good. This is a good sort of military watch. It's got some similarities to a Hamilton khaki mechanical. Obviously, this is a self-winding movement. On this, but it's doing cool things. It's got an acrylic crystal on it. And it fits the bill. It fits the bill.
What's the last one? What do we got coming up?
So I said earlier that I thought the Lakawachen or perhaps the Augsburg was tied for my favorite. And I've not bought a pilot watch, right? I've got my SNK, but that doesn't really count. But for years, I've been thinking, gosh, I just got to get a Pilot watch. And it's one of two watches. It's either the
This.
Laco or this.
That.
This or that.
Yep.
You can get with this.
Or you can get with that.
This is the Tisell.
Mm-hmm.
Tisell?
Tits out?
Tisell?
Tisell. Yeah, that's the one.
Tisell is a Korean company. Tisell is out of the Republic of Korea, and they make phenomenal watches, mostly reproductions, homages. If you were, their sub homage, I think is like $250 or $300, and is always sold out, and everybody fucking loves them. Tisell just makes very, very good watches. They use good movements. So this comes with a Miyota 90S5 or 9015.
Do you get to pick, or do you get what you get?
You get a pick.
Okay.
You get a pick. This comes with a beautiful blue Type A dial or a Type B dial or a black Type A or Type B dial. You get a ton of options. And you can tell looking at this thing that the fit and finish is superior.
Mm-hmm.
Superior. I think that of the watches we've looked at today, this one, maybe besides the Dekla, because we don't know anything about the Dekla, but I think that this is going to be the best fit and finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best movement, or the second best movement after the Dekla, perhaps, with the 2824 on the Dekla and the 90S5 on this. Dude, it's just a killer freaking watch.
I really like the strap shape.
Strap shape is good. Yeah, it's sort of that angled, that very steep step down, not tapered, but a step down strap. Killer movement. I think you only get 30 meters of water resistance, which is a little bit of a bummer.
Definitely a bummer.
But 9.5 millimeters thick. 49 millimeter lug to lug. Great lugs on this. Great lugs on this. BGW 9, Sapphire.
Perfect crown.
50 meters of water resistance.
Oh.
So
It's still not great, but it'll do. It's better than 30, better than 10, better than none. Great crown. I see a couple different crown options.
you can choose different options. Look, dude. So here's the drop down.
This is a build your own adventure kind of thing.
With date diamond crown, with date hammer crown. No date diamond crown, no date hammer crown.
Wow.
So that's where the different movements come in. You get to choose your crown. They have both black.
No date diamond.
Let's find the black version of this because it's really attractive too.
I really like this blue, like that really, really bright royal blue.
The black is also very good. Heat blued hands
With the really classic blue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same options here. $209. You can get a Type A, Type B. You can get diamond or hammer.
Get in me.
Bro.
For what?
And it's $200.
Yeah, 200 money.
$209. I think you probably have to pay shipping too, but whatever.
From Korea.
Sapphire.
It looks like just a slight dome on the crystal too.
Yeah. Almost certainly.
I like it.
it.
I'm glad we saved the best for last.
When I say it's between this and the Laco, the Laco feels to me like it's a more established brand. It's got a little bit more history, but I'm sure this is a better watch for less money.
Yeah.
Half as much money, a better watch.
I think you're right.
It's just Tisell and not. But the Tisell is the Tisell is sterile.
Mm-hmm.
It's sterile,
which I like. I like an unbranded Fliege.
Yeah. So that's it.
We've done it.
See you next week.
And now you have your options for a poor man's big pilot.
Yeah.
The winner coming in from Tisell in the Republic of Korea at 200 money.
I really like the Miyota 905S movement.
Mm-hmm.
Or 90S5 movement. It just looks good. It looks better than any of the other.
I think it's the rotor shape.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a fan.
And people don't like the noise of that movement because it's noisy, right? it's a noisy, and sometimes it'll get like, I don't know. I've noticed that, my NH35 movements, or the ETA movements that I've had seem to turn fairly consistently, sort of the way you would expect them. You rock them and they turn a couple times and they're good. I feel like the Miota, the 9015s or the 9000 series Miotas, for whatever reason, every once in a while just get like a wild hair up their ass. And they
I didn't even move.
Like there's the movement, and that did not equal one another.
It just gets it.
Right. So, yeah, that's it. We're done talking about watches.
We're done. We've made it through another week.
Do you have another thing?
I do have another thing. So in the
Did you see what just happened? My ear itched.
And you scratched your headphone?
I went to scratch.
I thought you were telling me to get closer to the microphone.
No, I was trying to scratch my ear. But
You missed. So in the light of the coronavirus outbreak, which if you haven't seen it, Corona had a really, really clever tweet.
Oh, no. Poor Corona.
No, it was clever. Corona, the beer company, tweeted recently, again, you don't get the coronavirus by drinking our beer. Coronavirus symptoms include fever, runny nose, and coughing. Symptoms of drinking Corona include gagging, craving Taco Bell, and waking up next to someone you wish you wouldn't have.
That's good.
So, in light of the coronavirus outbreak, I started watching the Netflix show Pandemic. And it is fascinating. It's all these so the first episode was all about influenza and all these projects worldwide to kind of stymie influenza. And then they go into Ebola and all these other practices and emergency management for pandemic management around the world. And it was fascinating to see the behind the scenes of pandemic management and pandemic response. Not being a doctor, I think it was a touch alarmist. And I think you have to be a little alarmist to work in that field where like I don't fully grasp the concern of coronavirus. I understood the Ebola concern because you get Ebola and you die. Definitely. Coronavirus seems like just a really shitty flu.
Right.
And they're like less people have died from that than the flu. I don't fully understand the connections, and I frankly I don't care to. But it was definitely an interesting show, and if you're looking to break off of one of your like Witcher binges and go into something that's a little bit thought provoking and perhaps enlightening, Pandemic is definitely worth a look.
I'll have to check it out. I think the thing about most of these flu variants, the scary, what was the one? The swine flu or
and the bird flu and the turtle flu and H1N1 and
yeah, I think the deal with most of these flu variants is that they're not particularly deadly for
normals.
For normies, yeah. It's they're like these flus are like coyotes, right?
Yeah. They get the sick and the old,
right?
Or the young,
or the young.
Yeah, they get the
That's
weak.
Right. So I mean, I think that's what's scary, right? Well, what happened to all of Eugene, Oregon's kids? Oh, they all died of coronavirus. I think that's the concern, and the CDC, in the States here, the Center for Disease Control, and probably something different if you're not here where you're from.
Probably the Foundation for Disease Management,
right? FDM.
Yeah.
I think that these organizations are really, really good organizations. To the extent that you don't mind the government being in power of something like that, but the responses to the olden days where one guy gets cholera and then the whole fucking town is dead, or Black Plague or whatever,
ghost towns and shit.
Right. So our alarmism is founded in historical reality, and that's okay. So even if it feels like, wow, the risk of this is pretty low, that's a good thing, right? That means it's working.
Right. It is working, but I think there's, I think with with a lot of things, like the Cascadia subduction zone, it's a pretty alarmist theory. I mean, what we're dealing with is institutionalized doomsday preppers. And I appreciate that they exist so that should it ever occur, we're prepared. But the outreach associated, especially with shows like this one, where if you were to watch it and internalize this, you'd never leave your house. And if you did, you'd be in a Tyvek suit and a respirator, because you just realize that the world is a dangerous place and everything out there is trying to kill you. And we can just be thankful, you and I, that we don't live in Australia where basically everything is trying to kill you. And they don't need diseases also, because just living there is hard enough because of spiders and snakes and large reptiles that eat things.
And now fires.
Yeah, well, the fires aside, that's probably really helping with the spider and snake population. I shouldn't have joked about that.
Sorry, Australia.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That was a poor joke, but
We suck.
Good riddance to all the spiders and snakes that were out there trying to kill you. Bummer for the koalas, though. The kangaroos and all the other fun stuff.
I always tell my kids, right? And they see a spider, and oh, I'm like, the spider is the only thing keeping the bugs out of your bed.
Yeah, but there's some motherfucking spiders out there that are like that. You look at them for long enough and they'll kill you. We don't need that shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't need brown recluse in my fucking bed. Pass.
There's no brown recluse in Oregon.
Yeah, there are. Are you stupid? We have browns here.
Okay, so my other thing. This is kind of fun, you guys. This is kind of fun. It's not fun for you yet, but I'm hoping it'll be fun for you soon. So I picked up a thing called a Movo PR-1. A Movo PR-1 is a tripod mountable, I don't know, what would you call this? Like a vlogging stick? It's like
a selfie stick, but better.
It's like a high-tech selfie stick. It doesn't have like a long extension, but this is a bracket for your phone. It's got a screw down holder thing for your phone. So I picked up an iPhone 11 Pro Max this last week, and the camera on this thing is fucking epic. Really good, really good. And so I wanted to get a thing to hold that camera on a tripod, and so I got it. And then I also realized this thing has a cold shoe mount on top of it, so I can put a microphone on top. And I goofed around a little bit with this thing this week, and I sent Andrew a video, and I sent a couple other people that were close with a video, just a test shot. So we, 40 and 20, are hopefully soon going to be posting some videos on our new YouTube channel. So those of you that follow closely will see that we posted our last episode, the interview with Dan C. We posted that on YouTube because a number of people have been asking for that, that we post our podcasts on YouTube. So we've posted our first podcast on YouTube. I think 45 people have listened to it.
32 of them were us.
So this is funny. We can see all our statistics, and I thought, well, you need to get like 4,000 hours of listening in 12 months to qualify for monetization on YouTube. And I thought, well, our episodes are so long. It's realistic we could get there. And shit, we've already got 4 listens. And then I pulled up the duration, so it tells you how much total time people have listened.
86 seconds.
Well, I think it was 0.9 hours, right?
So 45 people didn't even listen to a full episode.
So, I mean, it could be that people have listened to the episode already, or that they kind of blasted through. YouTube, I'm a blaster through on YouTube too. I try not to be, but I am. Here's what I'll say about the YouTube. That is a thing that we added because people have asked for it. And so for a period of time, we are going to post our podcasts on YouTube because some people have said that's how I prefer to listen to this.
Which is weird, y'all. If that's how you prefer to listen, that's odd.
To the extent we have show notes for any given episode, I'll put them in the YouTube description. To the extent we don't have show notes, I will not put them in the YouTube description. But yeah, I'm going to try that for a time and see if that's popular. But with that said, we're also I'm just going to do it. I'm going to record some video. I'm going to record some reviews, some watch reviews, and I'm going to put them on there. Now, here's what I'm going to ask of you. Go watch the video. at least click on it. At least click on it. And please just like it. For the love of God. 45 listens. We had 4 likes this afternoon when I checked later. Just like it. If you're there and you say, oh, these are my homies, 40 and 20. I love these guys. They have a tiny little audience, because we do. We have a tiny little audience. Every little bit helps. You know, PewDiePie, he doesn't need you to thumbs up his video, because he posts a video and within 2 seconds of it being up, it's got
4,000 hours of viewing
and 4,000 likes, right? We need you to like that video. So go on there, get on there, like it. And the reason for that is not because we're going to get money from it or whatever. We're never going to make any money on YouTube, but it does help in our search results. It does help people find us. So get on there, just smash the like button, bro.
Yeah. Imagine when we said that, the little arrow pointed down to the like button zone, like in the other YouTube videos.
Smash that like button. What's up, YouTube?
That's not going to be us. For the love of God, that will not be us.
What's up? Ugh. Was that Peter McKinnon?
I don't know.
That guy Peter McKinnon went in like 6 months from 100 viewers to 100 followers to 1 million. Have you ever watched his videos?
I've watched a few.
He's fantastic.
Yeah,
he's actually really good, but for a Canadian. Okay. Anything else you got, my friend Andrew?
I don't have anything else for today.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else either. So, thank you, folks, for joining us for this week of 40 and 20. Check us out on Instagram at 40 and 20. On YouTube, I think it's just 40 and 20. Or patreon.com/40 and 20. Again, patreon.com is where we get all our support for the show. That's how we afford hosting for the podcast.
Until we get 4,000 hours on YouTube.
Until we get 4,000 hours on YouTube. Don't forget to tune back in next Thursday for another hour of watches, food, drinks, life, and other things we like.
Bye-bye.